Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. It's yours truly, Culture Shock. We are here to discuss the Week 7 matchup between the Indianapolis Colts going to LA to face the Chargers. This is going to be one of the best games of the week. This is a 4 o'clock slate, midday game, so I'm going to try to stay awake for this one because late games, it's a no-go for me. I get sleepy too fast. But appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate all the support moving forward. Let's go ahead and hop into the discussion of the day. The topic: the Colts, best record in the AFC as of right now, but the Chargers are not that far behind them. They're still one of the best teams, and they are currently in a good shape. You know, they just signed Naheem Hines, former running back for the Colts back in the day. Zaire talked about him on a pod on an interview about matching up against him. And he was just like, don't give him the ball because you know how talented he can be. But this is going to be an interesting matchup for the Colts. Battle tested. Of course, like I say every week, having a record like that has a big target on your back. So everybody's going to look to beat you, regardless of the situation. But this is one of the best spots I've been in as a Colts fan in a long time. They got a good record, man. They're playing good football. Besides the injuries and everything, they're still playing solid football, which is a huge, huge thing as a Colts fan to watch. It's just fun to watch them, regardless of the roller coasters that they put you in. The fact that they can go out there and still win the game, being battle tested week in and week out, it shows you a lot. Daniel Jones is playing good football. Jonathan Taylor is in prime football form. The way he's playing, the defense, they're making big breaks. Despite what we're used to seeing of that defense in recent years, but this is a really good formula that they have right now. Um, they still have a long way to go, but I like how they've been playing so far. The offense is one of the best offenses I've seen in so long. But like I said, in general, it's just a good football team to watch as of right now. But they've been battle tested, and this week is not going to get any easier. They're going up against the Chargers. They're on fire right now, and I'm pretty sure they got home field advantage. Last time they was in, Los Angeles, or I would say in Vegas, the the energy wasn't the same. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go up against this team, against the Chargers out there in LA, with the weather change, and with the time zone change. Can they go out there and find a way to win? Now, if we look at the injury report for both teams, I'm going to go with the Chargers first. They got Keenan Allen. This is the Wednesday slate. So Keenan Allen didn't practice. He was resting, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be game ready. Joe Alt didn't practice with his ankle. Darius Davis was limited with his knee. It looked like he might try to come back. Troy Dye with a thumb injury. He did not practice. Dalen Hanley, they got a groin injury limited. Looked like he's going to try to play. Derwin James looked like he's going to try to play. Quentin Johnson looked like he's going to try to play. Kyle Kennard is going to be available. Khalil Mack looked like he's returning. He's going to be a huge addition if he can play. Scott Matlock with an injury. He looked like he's going to try to play. Elijah Molden didn't practice. Denzel Perriman looked like he's going to try to be available for this game. Trey Pipkins III didn't practice, and Jamar Saylor was limited. And for the Colts, you got Josh Downs with a concussion, which was new. Ashton Dula with a chest injury. That's new. Tyler Goodson, that's the same. He didn't practice. Kenny Moore looked like he's going to try to return. He was limited. Alec Pierce is full. Looked like he's going to try to play. Braden Smith's going to look like he's going to be available. And Tre'Davious Ward, Mooney Ward, is in concussion protocol. So both of those are the injury reports. It's going to be interesting to see how they look moving forward going into the rest of the week. We're going to need all our guys available for this game. It's going to be a huge slate going up against the Harbaugh. The Chargers got a 4-2 record. They're currently first in the AFC West. And Justin Herbert's been playing phenomenal football. This is some of the best football we've seen from Herbert in a long time. He's been really streaky in the past, but I think he's in a good form of playing football right now. And still, regardless of the situation, he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league, no question. The talent's there, and he has a lot of talent around him this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how he goes up against this defense with Lou Anarumo and his scheme. Lou is going to have to draw something up. This defense hasn't been in top shape as of late. Of course, losing Mooney Ward last week and going up against the backup in Jacoby Brissett, it was kind of caught off guard. This week, they can probably strategize a little bit better, knowing that Justin Herbert's the guy that they're going up against. So I'm expecting a better outing from the Colts defense. Am I expecting them to go out there and be great? Maybe not, because the guy they're going up against is really talented, and that offense is talented as well. And I know he's going to trust. He's going to test those DBs for the Colts, so that's no question. Herbert, almost 1,500 yards, 70% almost completion rate, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and their passing game is better than their running game. But the running game, they got Naheem Hines, so I'm pretty sure they're going to try to get him involved. If anything, just knowing the Colts' familiarity. Special teams for the Chargers is going to be on fire. I just know it. So the Colts are going to definitely have to step up on the special team side. The defense, they have a good pass defense. The run defense could be the weak link for the Colts to try to figure out and try to use Jonathan Taylor to go up against that run defense. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor is on one right now, definitely in MVP conversation, best running back in the league. You have to use him this week for sure. Daniel Jones is going to be battle tested. He threw a lot of scaries last week. This week, I don't think you should try that. Like I said, he's really good and playing good football, but definitely going to be battle tested this weekend. Pass defense for the Chargers is their strong suit. I wouldn't advise testing that. Like I said, you're going to have to lean on Jonathan Taylor this week. Last week, I said Daniel Jones will have to lead us to victory. He did so. Jonathan Taylor had a lot to do with it, but this week, we're going to have to see more of a balance of run game more than the pass game with Jonathan Taylor. So it's going to be interesting to see how that looks going into this week. The Chargers had a big win against the Chargers. They had a game with a field goal. They lost against the Dolphins, but it is what it is. Like I said, they wound up beating the Broncos, which was a good game. But, they've been battle tested as well. So this is going to be an interesting game for both teams. I'm pretty sure this looked like who's going to try to secure the top spot in the AFC. But this is one of those games of the week, in my opinion. The Chargers and Colts, a lot of people are going to be looking at this game. The Colts, this is going to say a lot. A lot of people are going to say, they have speculations of the Colts record, talking about who they played or who they beat and things of that nature, strength of the schedule. But if they can pull this off against the Chargers, that's going to silence a lot of critics. And people say the same thing for the Chargers, but I think the Chargers had the toughest schedule. So going up against this Colts team, they're going to be a little bit more ready than the Colts. But, just put up or shut up for the Colts. They got to go out there and play football, be consistent, and go out there and play. They got to be really good. Limit turnovers, things of that nature. Rely on Jonathan Taylor on offense. And for defense, they got to stay composed, man. The pass rush has to win and go out there and attack Justin Herbert. Because Justin Herbert, if he's comfortable in playing football, he's going to air it out. Big explosive plays are bound to happen if you give Justin Herbert those moments, and you cannot let that happen. The pass rush has to go out there and win. DeForest Buckner know how they're going to try to contain him, so that just relies on Latu and Kwity Paye to go out there and do their jobs. It's just that simple. They got to go up against the run game. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor's probably going to have himself a good week if they use him right against this run defense, but I wouldn't take it lightly. I think the Chargers, despite what they may say on paper, I still think they have one of the best defenses in the league, run defense-wise as well. If they can draw it up and make a play happen, they can do that. So the Colts game plan is going to have to be on one this week. They're going to have to be on one. It's going to be really interesting to see how they go up against this team, especially with all the injuries. We mentioned how A.D. Mitchell hasn't been playing the last 2 weeks. With Josh Downs going out, you got to come up with a new scheme. I'm looking forward to seeing probably more tight end sets just due to Josh Downs not being there. It takes away a huge piece of that offense. Josh Downs was so reliable when he out there on the field. So him might not being available to play is definitely going to hinder the offense. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor's going to have to, step it up a notch this week, probably be more reliable. But more tight end sets, maybe 2 tight end sets, probably going to be more Alec Cox on the field, maybe Drew Ogletree. Alec Pierce is going to be available, Pittman Jr., Tyler Warren. But Shane Steichen's been calling some good plays this year. I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to design this week against the Chargers, especially Daniel Jones. Is he going to be ready, knowing that Josh Downs is not out there? How are you going to improvise this offense, knowing that you're missing one of the biggest pieces out there on the field? And is A.D. Mitchell going to play? This will be the week to do so. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that works. But going down to this defense for the Colts, they're going to have to go out there and play football. They're going to have to play football. Last week was really it was a bad showing, even though they woke up at the end and made a play when we needed to do so. But like I said, the DBs are going to be really tested this week. And I'm pretty sure if the Chargers offense go out there and throw almost 40 attempts, I wouldn't be surprised. They're going to look at attention to detail. They're going to look at the film this week, and I'm sure they're going to see something and try to attack it. So Lou Anarumo and this defense, Zaire is going to have to lock this defense in because it's going to be a huge week for these guys. They're definitely going to have to step up and make some plays. And it comes down to turnovers. Which team can limit the most turnovers for sure? I know the Colts and Daniel Jones threw a few gutsy passes in the last few weeks, a few turnovers. It's definitely on the increase as of now. They're starting to average an interception a game. Coming to Daniel Jones just throwing those gutsy balls. But he definitely been making some beautiful throws. But some of those have been miscues, maybe miscommunications or overthrows, underthrows. Going up against this Chargers team, you can't give them any momentum. You got to play good polished football, clean on both sides, man. And this offensive line definitely going to have a huge task at hand here, especially when it comes to the pass defense, man. But all right, man, like I said, been having a up and down year. He's going to have a huge test on him, a huge test this week, going up if Khalil Mack's available. Even if he isn't, it's going to be a huge, huge test. They're going to throw all types of stunts at this guy, at this offensive line. So it's going to be up to this pass protection to really be on one. I know the run blocking is going to be there, but the pass protection of this offensive line is definitely going to step up this week. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go out there. Those costly penalties, that has to be cut down this week as well. So like I said, it just comes down to clean football. It's just that simple. So it's going to be interesting. I still do have the Colts walking away with this game. It's probably going to be high scoring, just due to it probably no. You know what? I changed my idea. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I really do. I have it being at least 24-21, something like that. Nothing over the 30. I just can't see that happening. Just due to the Chargers offense and the Colts offense. The Colts offense puts up a lot of points, but I think it's going to be a very slow game, honestly, just due to both teams not trying to commit a turnover. So it's going to be interesting to see. I do have the Colts winning this, sneaking away with this W. If anything, like I said, the Chargers are a pretty good team, but they're not far from the Colts. Like I said, both teams have holes. It just depends on which team attacks it the most. So it's going to be interesting. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section about this game. Who do you got winning? If you're a Chargers fan or a Colts fan, let me know in the comment section. And then we'll get back with you guys after the game. And until next time, this is Culture Shark. You guys have a good one.